Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what part of the world you're in. I'm just going to make sure that YouTube catches me up and that I'm going live. But as soon as you do get me, if you can let me know in the comments if you can see me and hear me okay. So I just we got that. Sorry if an advert plays before it starts, that hopefully you can skip that. And so let me know in the comments if you can hear me, and then we can get started. So Dave says all good. So welcome, Dave. Is Dave the only person here? Let me know. Say hi. Let me know where you are in the world. And if you've got any questions, make sure that you put them inside the chat there. And I'll try and get to those questions as whenever I can. But really what I wanted to do with this broadcast, because somebody asked for it in the group there. Hi, Sam. Also from London, and not far from I'm in London myself. So anyway, so I did this. I wanted to do this live broadcast. Somebody asked me, but I was thinking of doing them again regular. And I think that's what I want to do, is I want to start to add them, start to do them a bit more regular. And really they're to give new people a little of a review, a little show round, and also to answer any questions that you may have. Now, what I want to do before I go any further is I want to talk to you a little bit about crypto.com. Now, we've started to integrate that over the last week or so. And what we found was the trading fees were massive high. They're higher than Binance. There's 0.5% trading fees and that's just crazy on spot trading. And even if you go to limit order trading, and I'll talk to you about that in a moment as well, it's still very, very high. So I think we've got to look for another exchange, for a centralized exchange, because I know a few people want centralized. I personally prefer decentralized exchanges. But if you want to go the centralized route, I want to know what really works for the US and Canada. I want to know what works for Europe and the UK, because I understand Binance, if you're in the UK, you can't, and you're new and you've never created an account before, you're not able to set up that account. If you're in the US, you can use Binance, but the trading fees are just massive. They're just so ridiculous. It's unreal. So your bot's got to, the price has got to move a lot for the bot to make a profit when the fees are high. And then I know that Canada can't use Binance at all, and there's many other countries that can't, and UK is one of them now, unless you're you've had a Binance account for some time. But they're not accepting new UK users that can deposit fiat money. I think you can create an account and deposit crypto, but I'm not sure. So anybody knows more about that, let me know. Now, there is KuCoin, but I don't like KuCoin. They stole Bitcoin off of me. I had some Bitcoin in there. I couldn't get it out. And then what I had to do, they said, you got to verify your details. And I verified my details. Then they blocked my account. And then when they finally did open my account, my balance was zero. And I said, well, where's my money? And they said, well, we got no record of you having any money. Blah. And I sent screenshots, and they just ignored me, basically. So I don't want to go the KuCoin route. So there's maybe we need to do a bit more research, because we want low fees. It's not just about a centralized exchange that works in countries, there's many countries around the world, like OKX, I think you can use in practically every country except the UK. So that may be not a winner. Kraken, I haven't checked out the trading fees. So I'm going to be led by you guys. Let me know in the Telegram group, and of course, you can make a comment below this video of the exchange. Now, we did do a poll, about Kraken and Crypto.com. We didn't give any other examples, or choices in that poll, but I really need to find a centralized exchange that's got low trading fees, because if they're not low trading fees, your bot, the price of the token that you're trading, the bot's got to take into account the buy order, the sell order. That's two sets of trading fees. And then it's got to hit a profit as well. So sometimes that maybe go up a little. I'll have a look at Coinbase, Dave. I'm not sure whether Coinbase accept most countries around the world. I know it's Coinbase Pro, I think it's called. I've got a Coinbase account, but I'll definitely have a look at that. But really what we're looking for is, just to clarify, we're looking for a centralized exchange that can be used in Europe, the UK, the US, and Canada. You know, I think they're the main places it needs to be using, and it needs to be low trading fees. Crypto.com, 0.5% trading fee is just ridiculous. It really is. You know, your robot's got to wait for a long time for the price to go up. So one of the things that we want to look at is the limit order bot. Now, we've got a limit order bot, but we want to create a new limit order bot. Now, the problem is with limit orders is, let me just explain this to you, because it's okay for people that have got money and it's not okay for people that haven't got money. So if I go to my blackboard here, hopefully you can see this. So if we put here the limit order, and then you put your spot order here. Now, what's the two differences? Well, if you've got a robot that's running, say it's doing $20, you know, of a stable coin on its first trade, and you've got a robot over here that's doing $20 on its first trade, you know, so they're both at this point they're the same. Now, the difference is, let's say that you set this to say, well, I won't buy in the market until there's a 1% drop. Okay, so that means that $20 stays inside your available balance inside your either, you know, in Binance. So that's available there, and it can be used for other bots, because what you could do is you could have another bot, and you've only got, let's say you've only got $20, and you could say, well, I want another bot to set up, and I want that to have a drop of 0.5%. So I don't know, let's say you were trading BTC here and you were trading ETH here. Right, now Bitcoin might not drop down by 1%, okay, hypothetically. So that $20 is not needed. Ethereum drops down, so it can use that $20. Now, if you've only got $20 available, you could see that you could actually set up another bot. Sorry, I went to write a pound sign. $20. Let's say this was ADA. Okay, and you said, well, I want that to drop by 3% before the bot does a buy. So now you've set up 3 bots, but you haven't got $60, and that's okay, providing your bot doesn't want to, you know, do all of those buys at the same time. You know. Now, let's just say, for example, you know, this bot here starts to trade and these two don't, and this one makes $20 profit. Well, now your balance has gone up to $40, and you're only $20 short if it needed to use all of the you know, open up all the bots. Now, on a limit order side, it's completely different, because when you set up a limit order, you know, so you're trading BTC, you set up a limit order, that funds is no longer available for another bot, because it's placed into the order book of Binance. You know, it goes into the order book. Now, there's very almost zero, I think, trading fees on this side. But as you can see, you can't set up other bots. And the other thing is when, let's just say that if I get rid of this side here, let's just say that you've got, and I get rid of this up here, let's just say you've got $100 here and $100 here. Now, you set up this bot, so you've got a balance of $100 in each account, okay, in either, you know, in your Binance account, for example. Now, if you wanted to set up a standard bot on the default settings, you need $600 available if the price drops by about 78%, okay, because it will keep buying and buying and buying and buying. But if it doesn't drop by that, you know, you might, this is lot 0, this is lot 1, 2, and it goes all the way down, I think, to 39. So there's, you know, there's lots in there. But if it doesn't, you know, the price doesn't drop by 78%, and it only needs this lot here, so there's another $20, and it needs this lot here, that's another $20. You know, basically out of that 100, you've used 60, even though if the price dropped by 78, you're saying, well, it needs that much money, you know. But if it doesn't drop, then it doesn't need all that. But on the limit order side, you've got to place limit orders all the way down. So you need the $620 on a default settings for a limited bot. You need that, and it's going to use those funds. It's going to put $20 here, $20 here, $20 here, or whatever the amounts is for each of your lots. So that's the disadvantage of, I think, limit orders. But the advantage is there's practically zero trading fees. So this one could obviously trade that much more frequent, if that makes sense. And so we are looking at a limit order bot, but I think it's only going to be really beneficial for people who have got larger balances, you know, bigger money, you know, because if you haven't got the money to go on the default settings, and I'll show you what those are in a minute, then you can't, you know, there's no point setting up a limit order bot. So that's something that we are looking at. Okay. Now I don't know, but first off, we've got to find an exchange that we want to use, because these centralized exchanges are fairly expensive on the trading fees, and your bot's got to do, or the price of the token's got to go up that much more before your bot can make a sale, you know, because to complete an order, it needs to do a buy. The price has got to go up from the point that it bought at, and then it's got to do a sell. And each time it does that buy and that sell, there's a trading fee. So hopefully that will make sense. But let me know if you've got any questions regarding that. Let me just have a swig of water. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I always get this wrong because I forget how to use this. Share screen. And let's first go over to here first. So let's have a look at the Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin has had a bit of a rough run. It went right down to what, 78,000, 79,000, somewhere around there. They're starting to pick up because of, you know, some comments that the US government said, and they said that they were setting up their reserve for XRP, ADA, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. That gave it a bit of a pump. We've got a dark cloud over it at the moment because we're not quite sure what's going to happen in, the war with Russia and the Ukraine. And also you've got the Palestine and Israel war. So we don't know what's going to happen. So the markets are a bit uncertain at the moment. But I do believe that we're still in this bull run. And I think that this cycle round that's happening, you know, it's not like the past where you have bull runs and bear runs, bull runs and bear runs. I think them days are gone now, because Bitcoin and crypto in general is certainly moving in a different direction now, where it's just retail buyers, you know, like you and I, the small guys buying it. There's some big players that are setting up, ETFs and banks are now taking it on board where they can offer it as an asset. I don't know what they call it, but, you know, they can offer it to their customers. So I don't think we're going to see these bull runs and bear runs like we did in the past. I think we're more going to see, you're not going to see a bull market and a bear market that goes on for a long period of time. You know, we had a couple of years of a crypto winter, you know, through COVID and whatnot. Everything went down. I think them days are gone, to be honest, because I think Bitcoin, on the short time frame, we can't say what's going to happen, but on the longer time frame, you know, a couple of years, 4 years, I think that Bitcoin is just only going to go up. And I believe personally that by the end of Trump's, term that he does now, so 4 years, I think Bitcoin's going to be at $500,000 a token. You know, I really do. So I think crypto is not like it used to be. We're not going to have these bull runs and bear runs like we did before. Now, what I want to do is just stop sharing a moment, because what I do see is, you know, people say, I've had people contact me personally and say, when do I set up a robot? What tokens should I set up a robot with? Well, if you don't know much about crypto, then I would personally say you want to stick with, obviously this is not financial advice, you want to stick with tokens that are in the top 25 tokens, you know. So you've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, and if we go over here, look, I'll just show you. Let me come back to here and I'll share my screen again. Share the screen. We'll go with the crypto bubble this time. So if I take it off the favorites and I go to the top 100 tokens, there's the top 100 tokens. They're all green at the moment, but if I go down the screen here, so you're looking at, I think, the top 25 tokens that you should be, if you're going to set up robots with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Obviously, you can't do a Tether robot because that's a stable coin. BNB, you can't do that. Solana, Cardano, ADA. The Trump's administration came out and said they're going to have that as part of their reserve, the ADA. Dogecoin, Tron, IP network. Not sure what that one is actually, but that's I shall look into that a bit more. And so these are the tokens, if you've not traded before, that you want to be looking at. Now, the problem is when you set up a trading robot, a lot of people think that the robot's a miracle worker. And, they set their bot up and say, oh, my bot's been running for 2 days and it hasn't made any money. Or my bot's been running for 48 hours and it hasn't done any action. Well, let's just go into that to show you why a bot possibly doesn't do any action or doesn't make any profit. So if you're setting up a bot and the first lot you do is called lot 0, and that's here. So you put your bot and it does a buy here. Okay. Now, the price is, let's say the take profits was at 0.8%, right? If it was a base robot, running on the base network, a decentralized robot, or it's a Binance robot, you could do it 0.8. If it's a PancakeSwap robot, it has to be 1.5. And the reason being that the cake bots, they have a bigger blockchain fee, okay? Where the base and Binance have a lower one. So I personally would set up base bots because decentralized, the fees, the trading, the blockchain fees are very, very similar to Binance, okay? Obviously, when you're using blockchain, it depends on times of day, how busy the network is, but your trading fees will be somewhere around 1 cent to 3 cents on base. On PancakeSwap, you're going to be looking at maybe 5 cents to 7 cents, somewhere around there, even as much as 20 cents I've seen. On Binance, you're looking around 1 to 2 cents on a trade, okay, of a $20 trade. So, but the base network and Binance are definitely the way that you want to go. And if you've not got access to Binance, well, then I would say you want to set up base. So your bot does its buy. Now, the price is the trigger point, let's just say is here. This is the take profits. And what happens is the price goes like this. It goes up there. We check the price. Well, the bot says, well, I've not hit the trigger point, not doing anything. It goes up again, says, oh, checks the price again, doesn't do anything, still hasn't hit the trigger point. The price comes back down, checks the price again, still hasn't done anything. And this could go on like this in between this area, and the bot won't do anything because these movements here are less than what the take profits are. So your buy would be here. You would have bought here, but your actual buy with the fee, because you've got to have a buy fee, so you'd have a fee here, and that would be there. So there'd be a difference between this price and this price, because you've got to add the fee, and then you've got a sell fee. And let's say that the bot says, well, that takes up that much. So your actual real buy is in this point here, is in here. Okay, that's your real buying point. And so between this point and this point is nothing happened. It's no man's land. It won't buy, it won't sell because it's not moving enough down. Now, lot 1, let's get rid of the red pen. I don't know why I keep using that one because it's running out. Lot 1, which is lot 0 is the first lot. Lot 1's the next lot that it buys. And that might have a drop in price of 2% with a pullback of 0.5%. So basically what that means is, the price drops down. The bot checks the price here. It drops down, doesn't do anything because there's what the minus 2% is. and then there's a 0.5% of a pullback. So then it comes down, it says here, right, this is actually the trigger point for it to now look to say, because we checked the price there, the price has dropped again, but let's just say that the price dropped again and it still hasn't bought. And you say, well, hold on a minute, that's now dropped 4% and it hasn't bought. Well, that's because it's not got this pullback. It's got to go back up again by 0.5%. So if it drops down, say, another 1%, you're now down to minus there. Bot looking, it won't buy anything. Even though you say, well, it keeps dropping, why isn't it buying this lot here? It won't do that until it gets that pullback, okay? So now let's just say that we check the price here, and then up it goes, and this gap between here and here is 0.5%, okay? Now, the price goes up there, and the bot does nothing, and then it checks the price here, okay? Checks the price here. Well, it's gone past this point here, so now it says I can buy here, okay? So that's what it can do. So you've got to understand that if you've set up a robot, the first lot, it could buy that more or less straight away, depending on your settings. But if the price doesn't meet your settings, then it's not going to buy. And then when it comes to selling, it's not going to sell until the price does something like this. So let's just get rid of this bit in here, just to show you. So let's say that our robot's checking the price, say every minute, for example. You know, it could be 30 seconds, but we'll say a minute. Just keep it round. It depends on the token, depends on the network, you know, the API connection and the blockchain and all sorts of things. There's a lot of things that we're checking the price constantly. And we're also, with the more bots that are trading a particular token, we're collecting more data because we can, you know, we're checking because we know there's more people coming in and they're starting their bots at different times. Not everybody's starting their bot at 9 o'clock in the morning, for example. You know, someone might start at 9, one minute past, another one might start at 10 o'clock, you know, and so on. So every time someone starts a bot, we're immediately checking the price at that point. But if there was only one person in the system, we're checking the price every 1 minute. Okay, so that can go up to 3 minutes, depending on the network. You know, we can try to check the price. We miss that window, and then it waits, and it checks it again. Missed the window, checks again. It says, right, I've waited 3 minutes now, and I've got the price. So there could be an interval between 1 and 3 minutes when the price is checked, or 0 and 3 minutes. So, but hypothetically, I'm going to say 1 minute. So let's say the price went up. So this was a minute. This was another minute from this point to that point. The bot did nothing because it hasn't reached this point where it's the take profit sell trigger point. So then the price goes down. It checks the price here. It doesn't do anything. Then the price shoots up and it checks the price there. Now it says, I can watch now because I want to have that's gone past my trigger point, you know, because it checked the price here, but it doesn't sell there. It doesn't sell there. What it does, because it's waiting for this time a retracement, it's waiting for a reversal in the market. So in other words, what it's waiting for is for the price to go back down by a percentage. Let's just say that that's 0.5% again, hypothetically. Again, it depends on your setting. So let's just say that it's waiting for that, but it doesn't do that. It doesn't go down. Let's just get rid of that. It doesn't go down. Let's say that this has gone up by 4% from this point here, this point here. This gap between here and here is 4%. So the bot knows it could sell because you've either got 1.5% or 0.8, but it's not going to sell because it's waiting for that retracement. It's waiting to see if the market's going to start going down again, because what you want to do is the robot on the default setting is designed to pick as much profit as it can possible. So then the price goes up again. It checks the price here. This time it's gone up to 5%. Okay. And it still doesn't do a sell. Now, some people send in support tickets and say, well, I know the price has gone up by 4% and I only wanted 0.8% and it hasn't sold because it's waiting for this retracement. It's got to have that retracement. Now, what can happen In some cases, from that point there, we check the price goes bang, and it's back in here. Now, what does that mean? Well, unfortunately, in this scenario, the bot's lost out on this profit because it didn't check, it checked the price there, and the next time it checked the price, it was down here. That could have been 1 minute later, 30 seconds later, but there was a sudden move in the market and the price dropped down. Now, in that scenario, your bot wouldn't have made a sale because it's dropped back down into this no man's land where it can't actually make profit. So the bot wouldn't do a sale. Now, there is a tool in Jonny Blockchain. You could switch this off, and I'll show you that in a minute, the retracement tool. But that's just to give you some idea of why bots don't necessarily buy and sell when you think they should, okay? Because the robot is checking the price at intervals. It has to. It can't monitor the price constantly 24 hours a day. You know, you could sit on your computer and look at, say, trading view or crypto bubble and see the price go up and down and all that. And you say, well, hold on a minute. My bot's not done any buys or any sells. First off, we don't trade with trading view. We don't trade on crypto bubble. We're either trading in Binance or we're trading with smart contracts. And smart contracts, there's no way on this planet you can visually see what the price is, okay? Now, let me just take you to my screen again. Excuse me. And this time, I'm going to go to Jonny Blockchain. I'm going to go to the robot screen here. And I'm going to create a robot. And here, if I put this on expert mode, if we look down here, we've got this tool here, this retracement tool. Okay, so it's by default, it's on. So in this case, the trigger point for this particular robot, if I was going to do it on Pancake, the take profit trigger point is 1.5%. And that 1.5% is above the price of the sell and the buy trading fees. It has to take those, or blockchain fees. It has to take those into account. It's not from the point that it bought at. It's got to say, well, the robot works it out and says, well, the trigger point is going to be this amount is what we spent on buying it, and we're going to spend another amount on selling it. So the actual trigger point is going to be higher than what you may be thinking in your mind because it's got to take in the fees. Now, with the retracement, so if I put that to 0.5 like I did on the whiteboard there, this is going to let the price go up, and now it's going to wait for that retracement. The price has got to come back down. But if I switch that off, it says retracement is ignored. So now what does that mean? So let's come back to my whiteboard. Let's stop the presentation. Let's come back to my whiteboard. I'll get rid of this, and I'll show you what retracement ignored does. Let's get warm in here, so my board's getting dry too quick. Miss ink. Never worked with children, animals, internet, and whiteboards. Right. So let's do the two scenarios. We got lot zero on both sides of the screen. Let me just get that because the board's wet now. Start again. So we got a retracement. So we got lot zero and lot zero. Okay. Now this side has got the on, and this side has got retracement off. Now, let's say the trigger point for the take profits is up here. Okay. Now, let's just see what happens now with it off and the retracement. So this side, the retracement is 0.5%. So the price goes up. Bot checks the price here. Price goes up. Bot checks the price here. Now, this one won't sell because it's waiting for the retracement of 0.5%. So it's got to go down by 0.5% before it could do a sell. Well, that 0.5%, you know, it's not going to sell. It's basically not selling because it's checked the price right there. And at the time of checking the price, there was no retracement. So this bot won't sell. This bot would sell. You see, because it's gone past this line here. We check the price. It will say, right, let's try and sell it there. So 90% of the time, it's going to make that sell. There's almost 10% it won't make that sell because, you know, API connections, network is busy, blockchain fees are really high at that time. But 90% of the time, it would sell there. Now, the disadvantage for that is, let's say the price carried on going up. So the price was checked again here. So let's just say that this was 3% here, you know. So this was obviously 3%. It checked the price and it made the sell. This one hasn't sold. This one's still holding the token. So now the price went back up to say it's gone up here. I'll just be hypothetical, say 10%. And then it did a retracement of 0.5. So this robot could take profits at 9.5%. This robot, because the retracement was switched off, is missed out on some of that 9.5. Okay? Some of that 9.5. Now, when I say some of it, if the price went immediately up, it would have lost out on all of that. Okay? Because the bot doesn't have a lot available, because what it's got to have is it's got to have it's got to go back to the default settings of the robot for lot 0. Let's just show you what I mean by that. Let's come here and share my screen. Share Jonny Blockchain. There we go. So if we look here, we've got here, you see it says here, lot 0. Price movement up or down 0.01%. So this bot over this side, let's come back to here, stop sharing. This bot over here won't have missed out on all of that 9.5 because the setting says a movement up or down of 0.01%. Well, if that was, it's got to say an up or down of that price. So it's either got to go up by that much or down by that much before it buys in again. Okay, because it's obviously sold this lot, it's banked the 3% profit, and then it's bought in, say, here. It's bought in again here. Okay, it bought in, it sold it, the price went up, and it bought again. Now, had we not checked the price there, which we didn't check it till it was up to 10%, it would have missed that. But if we would have checked the price in here and in here, there's a chance that it could have bought in either here. It definitely won't have bought in this area. It won't have bought straight away because it sold, it checked the price at that point. Well, it's now got to wait 30 seconds before it checks the price again, or a minute before it checks the price again. So it's not going to buy in. So that's why I said it would have lost some of that, because what it might do is the price would go up and it checked the price here. It says, okay, we'll do a buy here. And now there's a new take profits trigger point of 0.8, which could be somewhere in there. It comes in, checks the price again. It's just below the profit, it won't do anything. Same as this bot's not done anything. Then the price went up to there, check the price again. It would take the profit between that bit. So this amount of profit in here that this bot picked up on, because this bot picked this profit up, this bot would have lost out on. So that's the disadvantage of this bot. It can lose out on a little bit of the profit, but this is a less greedy bot. And this bot can release funds so that it can trade again, where this bot could be sitting on the funds. And like I showed you before, it could go up by 10%. We checked the price there. And then what could happen is the price could go whoop, back down here, and it says, hold on a minute, we've checked the price. We can actually sell in this area, because this is the in this area here there's also his profit, so it could sell there, but it might not get the 0.8% that you wanted. It might get 0.1%, you see, in there, because it's gone. There's the take profit trigger. It's waiting for the retracement, but that we know is what it bought at. So in this, between here and here, that line there is break even, but slightly just above that, between there and there, is profit. So it could actually sell in that area there, if that, and it missed out on that 10%. So it's hard to, hopefully a bit of that sinking in to give you an idea of the sort of algorithms that we've got for the trading bots. And I want to show you now. Let's go over to Jonny Blockchain. If you've got any questions, put your questions in the chat, because I don't see any questions gone in there. So I'm assuming that nobody's got any questions at the moment. But if you've got questions, please ask them in the chat and I'll get to them, because I want to keep this broadcast as short as possible. Normally, no, it won't go above the hour. Okay, but if we don't get questions or anything like that, then we'll finish once I've done my little presentation. Right, so let's move on, and I'll share the screen again. We go to Jonny Blockchain this time. Right, so here we are in a robot. So what would you need to do to set up a robot? Well, depending on what you're going to be using, are you going to be using a decentralized robot that runs with smart contracts and your MetaMask wallet, or are you going to be using the Binance robots? So what you would want to do, the first thing, so if I come over to my wallet, you would need to decide whether you're going to access Binance trading fees, API keys, or you're going to access this DEX trading. Now, the DEX, you can use PancakeSwap and Aerodrome, which is on the base network. You don't need to know about the exchanges, but you're only interested in the blockchain. So let's just say you were going to use the DEX and you wanted to use it for Aerodrome over here, you see. So that means you top up this wallet with some Ethereum on the base network. Now, Ethereum's exactly the same price, but the blockchain fees are a lot cheaper than Ethereum's blockchain fees, okay? And so you would top up on this side. If you wanted to use both DEX bots, you would top up on here as well, because these two fees here, this is BNB. This is to cover the blockchain fees, nothing to do with us, the blockchain fees that the smart contract's going to use to make the trade, to do the swap. You know, if you're got a Bitcoin robot, for example, it's going to take a stable coin. So Tether or the USDC is going to take that stable coin from your MetaMask wallet, buy you some Bitcoin, and put the Bitcoin back into your MetaMask wallet. So when it swaps it or buys it or exchanges it, whatever words you want to do, but you're going to take a stable coin like Tether, and it's going to take some of that Tether and give you back Bitcoin. There's a blockchain fee, and that blockchain fee comes out of this wallet. Not your MetaMask wallet, comes out of this. So this is why you would need, some BNB if you were going to use Pancake robots, or some Ethereum on the base blockchain if you're going to use the Aerodrome trading robots. Now, don't get confused with Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain, because that would cost you a lot of fees to send, just move a little bit around on Ethereum's blockchain. But on Base's blockchain, it's very, very cheap. So then you would top up either of those. Now on this side, it says my wallet top up. You would need to top up a minimum of $35. And if I show you why, so let's say you were going to buy this side, this is going to cost you $25 a year to get access for 12 months, for as many robots as you want on the DEX side of things. So if you were going to do the decentralized, which is these two up here, you can either do both of these. There's no extra fee for using both. It's $25 a year, and you can set up as many decentralized trading robots either on Pancake or on Aerodrome on Base, or you can have both, can't you? You can set some Pancake bots up, some Binance Smart Chain bots up, or you can set some Base chain. If you wanted to have centralized as well, this one's also going to cost you $25. So if you wanted both of these, then you'd need to top up with a minimum of $60 worth of Tether, and that would go into here. You'd set up it in here, and then this balance needs to be this. You would use this balance to click on a button down here. Obviously, I'm already, I don't want this because I'm not doing I don't have enough funds there, but I don't want, it's not my account. But this guy doesn't want Binance. He's using Pancake. So if he wanted to use, he's using the decentralized one. If he wanted to use this, he'd need to top up his accounts. He's only got $5. Now, the $5 that he's got left is going to be used for software service fee. Now, the software service fee, SSF for short, is 25% of the profit. Okay, so if your bot makes a profit, it will charge you 25%. So if it made $1, you'd have to pay a 25% service fee, which is 25 cents, and you get 75 cents. Now, let's just see if we can find a robot in this guy's account here that's made a loss. Let's have a look to see if I go to activity. No. Because I want to show you something if there's a bot that's made a loss. Let's click on this one. No. Probably I'm not going to find it. Never worked with children, animals, and the internet. So look, this guy here, if you could see, it's made a loss there, and it says, when I hover my mouse over there, infinite trading. Now, if the bot made the mistake, the loss that was made, I mean, in this case, it says that there's obviously some very small amount it lost. Let's come to this one. Look, infinite trading. So this bot made a loss of 8 cents. So this user has lost 8 cents. Well, he hasn't really lost 8 cents, because if we come over to his wallet and we go to his, I think it's statement and software service fee, if we look down here, we should see somewhere, let's find it. He basically gets a credit. Now, has this gone back far enough? See why that's not there. Minus. He basically gets a credit for the amount that he's lost in software service fee. Now, what it does is it puts a credit in your software service fee statement to show you that you've actually got the where can't I see that? Has this got, it might be because it's the new, we updated the system and it's not showing up on there. So I'll check that with the programmer. But basically he gets 8 cents as a credit, okay, that he can use against future trades. So if he makes a profit on another bot, then, and that made a profit of, and he's got to pay a software service fee of 8 cents, he won't have to pay it because he's got a credit. Okay, so the credits might not show in here. I'll have to check that with the programmer. But basically, if your bot makes a loss, and it's the bot's fault, not your fault, because some people, can set their bot to sell immediately. Well, that's their choice. That's not the bot's. So, and then if that makes a loss, you don't get that credit. But if the bot made the mistake, you get that credit. So, no questions so far. Yeah, okay. So minimum take profit percentage is the same for a grid bot. So the grid bot works on completely different setup. There's no take profit percentage on a grid bot, because it depends on how many grids you're going to set up and how much you're trading with. So if we go to here, if I show you, hopefully, let me share the screen again, because I can see that I'm not. So I'll show you this, share the screen, Jonny Blockchain, and we'll go to grid bots. So if I set up a new grid bot, for example, and I just choose Bitcoin, let's just choose Bitcoin there, okay, and here, obviously, I'm not going to set this up because it's not my account, but let's just say I was going to do 10 lots. Now, the minimum lot I can do is for $10. So I could put in here 20. And that means each lot size would be $10, as you can see there in green. Now, it's given some numbers in here, 85 to 94. You can obviously change those. They're just the default numbers which it's given. Now, when you set up a grid bot, can you see that there's these green lines down here and red lines? Green lines, red lines, green lines, red lines. So basically, the bot over that price range, over this price range from here to here, sets up buys and sells, buys and sells, buys and sells. Now, depending on the blockchain or the network, it would be the minimum default setting. So if it was a PancakeSwap, the price difference between the minimum default setting, the trigger point, is 1.5%. But what you've got to remember with a grid bot, it's not looking for retracement. It's only looking for it to pass those grids. So if I come to my whiteboard here, and I'll show you. So let's just say we're setting up this grid bot, and we've got zero, lot 0, and we've got lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, lot 4. So these numbers here represent the buys. Okay, these are all the buys. So that's a buy, and that's a buy. Okay, they're the buys on the grid. Now, and obviously this bot down here is a buy. Now, your buy will have, so if I put those buys, let's put those buys in a red, okay? So those buys are through here. They're your buys. Just got enough out of that. Right. Then you've got your sells. So the sell for this bot here, this lot 0, could be either anywhere between, wherever the fee marks could be here for that one. Lot 1 could be here. That pen's not, you can't see that, can you? I'll use the black pen, sorry. So this could be the sell. Okay? This could be a sell. So this buy here has got its sell there. This buy here has got its sell there, and so on. Okay? This buy's got its sell there, and then that one is there. So this buy's got its sell there, and this buy has got its sell up there. So them dots there, the black dots are all the sells. And the bot would have worked out how much it needs to be, taking into account the blockchain fees, okay, or the trading fees. We've not got it on Binance at the moment, but we are going to add it. So blockchain fees in this case. So there, it's just set. So it's not waiting for any retracements or anything like that. It's just trigger point is there. So let's just say the price now moves up like this. The bot, we check the price here. Bot's doing nothing because it's not hit this sell point. Then it goes up and it checks the price again here. Now it could now open up this lot. It could start to, so it's now on these 2 lots. It could say there, but it hasn't taken profit on this one because it hasn't hit the trigger point. We check the price again, and it's gone up here. At this point, this would have sold this one out. That would have sold it out. And then that means it releases that funds, and that gives you your profit. But let's just say, hypothetically, it didn't check the price here, but the price went up. And like before, the price came back down before it checked the price again. Well, if it's in this area, there would be a bit there for fees. If it's in this area, it could actually do the sell because it's above the point of where the fees were. But you see, a grid bot is perfect for somebody that's got a small budget, and it's perfect for somebody that doesn't want to take higher risk. Now, obviously, it's all risky because, you can buy a token at this point on a spot trading bot and the price just plummets down. And the bot, you're in bed and you've set it up and you say, it's okay, I've got $500 in my wallet. I've set up 20 bots. I don't think it's going to use that $500. But lo and behold, the price drops down massively, 20, 30%, and the bot's used up all your funds. on a spot bot. But on a grid bot, it won't. Once it gets to this area, you know, there's a price range here. So these are all prices and these are all prices. So if the price, when the bot checks the prices in this area, it shows you this symbol that's like this. It won't do any more buying or selling, obviously. And if it gets in this area up here, the price goes up. Well, obviously your bot would have taken some nice profit along the way because it's gone past all these points here. But once it's in here and the price starts, it's not going to do anything. It's just, this is dead land for you. It's only going to work in that grid. It's only going to work in that. I prefer grid bots. I must admit, I prefer grid bots than I do to spot trading robots because you can establish your funds. Now, at the moment, you know, you can establish, you can say, well, that's the base, that's the funds I want to use, and I'm not going to buy down here. I'm not going to buy down here. Now, of course, you can knock those lots off on a spot trading bot. So you do that, but that defeats the object. If you're knocking all the lots off, you just well come in and set up a grid bot. Because the idea of the spot bot is when the price drops down, you want it to buy as it goes down, DCAing in, you know, want it to buy so that if the price never recovers back up to the point where you bought it in at on the spot bot, it could start to trade its way out of debt. But these grid bots only trade in that range there. And the trigger point is set by the system. And that will be anything from 0.5% up to 1.5%. Or up to 2%, depending on the fees involved at that time of making it. So hopefully that, how much have the bots done in recent market retracement? Well, that's on the front screen of Jonny Blockchain. If you go and have a look on Jonny Blockchain, you've got all the stats there. So, and also you've got the trends. If you go, if I share my screen, share the screen, go to Jonny Blockchain, and I close this and I come up to the where we are, to the dashboard. Oh, yeah, trends. Go to the trends so you can see what the bots are doing. So look at this one. So we're on Binance API. In the last 24 hours, it's made 723%. So if I get the calculator, hopefully, I don't know whether you can see that calculator, probably not. But if you get the calculator and you put in 723.77 and then divide that by the amount of bots. Now over here, there's 190 bots. So if you divide that by 190 bots, that's given an average ROI in the last 24 hours for XRP of 3.8%. Now, some bots would have made more than 3.8%. Some would have made less. But this is giving you an idea because obviously bots are all started at different times of the day, trading with different amounts. You know, somebody trading with $20 to oppose somebody trading with $500. So there would be a difference in that. But you've got the trend screen there to show you what the bots are doing. And all you've got to do is take that number there and then divide it by the amount of bots that are trading. And that will give you an idea of the average bot trading. Now, if you look at ADA, for example, that's 446%, 446.3. And you divide that by over here, 59, that's telling you the average ROI in the last 24 hours is just over 7.5%. So just because this is at the top doesn't mean it's the best performing bot, because you've got to look at how many bots are trading it, you see. So if you look at this one, the Soul bot, look, it's 264%. And if I get my calculator, I don't think you can see the calculator, but 264, okay, 0.33. And if I divide that by 326 bots, you know, that's 0.8% ROI in the last 24 hours, average per bot. And again, we can't give an exact amount here because people trade with different amounts. So that makes a big difference to a performance of a bot. So yeah, you've got that stuff on there. And if you go to the front screen, if I just go like that, and you scroll down here, You've got all these stats here to show you what the bot's performing on a daily rate, how much. This is for the past 12 months. So it's made $427,000 in passive income. It's paid out 26,000, just over 26,000 in affiliate commissions. It's a great affiliate program. It's made 99.2% successful trades. A successful trade is a buy and a sell. If you've got a bot that hasn't done the sell, well, then that's not part of that statistic because it has to do the sell before it does. So you have realized profits and unrealized profits. And I've got a video in there in the user guide. You've got zero profit, which means it broke even. And then you've got negative profit, which means it made a loss. So 0.7% of the bots made a loss. There's 10,606 bots trading at the moment with 1,136 users. Okay, so you've got all the stats that you need to help you make your choices. So hopefully that did. How have the bots done during the recent? Oh, I've just done that. Well, there you go. So, bots. Let's face it. A trading bot is the same as somebody trading. Okay, in the fact where if you buy a token now, you buy a token now. It doesn't matter what that token is. A bot doesn't make profit, and you won't make profit unless the price goes up above the price you bought it at. There's no rocket science here. The robot can't make profit out of something that's not there. So if you buy an apple for $1 and somebody wants to pay 90 cents for that apple, well, you've lost 10 cents if you sell it to them. If you don't sell it to them, you haven't lost anything because all you've got is unrealized losses because you still own the apple. And now, if you buy the apple for $1 and somebody wants to give you $1.10, if you sell it to them, you've made a profit of 10 cents. But if you don't sell it to them, you've got 10 cents of unrealized profit. Until you make that sale, you haven't lost anything, you haven't made anything. You're just holding the token. So a lot of people get confused with this. They think, well, the robot's going to buy, and why hasn't it made a profit? Well, it's got to reach a trigger point. It's got any robot. It doesn't matter. There's no robot on the planet that says, well, I'm buying at $1 and I'm going to sell at 90 cents and I've made you a profit. Well, it's just a donkey would think you would do that. If your bot buys at $1, it's got to go above $1 for it to make a profit. So if the markets are all going down at the moment, at the time when your robot bought, so it bought for $1, but then the price drops down to 80 cents. But providing the bot hasn't sold, you haven't lost anything. All you've got is 20 cents of unrealized profit. And that's the same whether you were doing it manually or, you're using a robot. Okay. The difference with a robot is it doesn't need human emotions to get involved. So if you've got a robot, don't get involved. Once you've set it up, leave it. Because what you want your robot to do is if the price goes down, you want your robot to buy another lot. The price may never ever go back to $1. But let's say it goes down to 80 cents and it buys a lot. Then it goes up to 90 cents and it makes a profit. Then it drops back down to 70%. It buys another lot. It never gets back to $1, but it can keep buying and selling at that lower level and make you a profit to get you out of debt. Okay. Excuse me. So I'm coming up to an hour. So I'm going to finish this broadcast. I can see that there's no more questions. I'll wait for another 30 seconds. So if you've got a question, get it in. If not, I'm going to end the broadcast. And there was other things I wanted to cover, but I could be talking here for hours on end. And I think the best thing to do is I'll set up another broadcast at another time. I'm in the UK, so my broadcast times are going to be in the UK time. I'm not going to sit up to 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning to do a broadcast. They're recorded, so you can watch the recording. And if you've got a question that you want me to cover on a future broadcast, but you ain't going to be around to ask that question, put it in the Telegram group. And if you're not in the Telegram group, send in a support ticket from your Jonny Blockchain account and ask for the link to get you into the Telegram group. You can get in there and you can ask your question in there. Okay, so thanks for watching. Have a fantastic rest of the week and today. And I'll speak to you soon in another video. Tutty bye.